Hello, 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 and welcome back to Mondays with Matt. The theme of tonight's show is how we get to surrender to succeed. For those of you watching on YouTube, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am delighted to have you. If you're new to my channel, take a second, hit that little subscribe button. I'm uploading new content all the time. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Matt Shaffer. I am a speaker and coach for women. I coach women all over the world around empowerment, connection, and relationship. I'm obsessed with what I do, and I'm so passionate about helping women and helping all people have more fulfilling, deeper connections and relationships in their life. Because I think that's what life is all about. I think life is all about our connections that we have with each other. Guys, this is my show, Mondays with Matt. This is my weekly show on personal development, transformation, emotional intelligence, leadership, spirituality, love, relationships. Basically, whatever I'm experiencing in real time, I want to share it with you because I'm just a student of this work and I'm constantly learning new things and sort of humbly approaching this stuff and then sharing with you what I'm learning. How can we surrender to succeed, right? What would that like, because I know when people think about the concept of surrender, when you think about surrender, what's the normal connotation we have with the concept of surrender? Surrender means to give up, right? Surrender means we're releasing something, it means we're giving up. And in the traditional context, surrender is one of those things that's considered like a taboo subject, right? Because if you're surrendering, it means you're giving up. It means you're a quitter. Isn't that like there's a judgment against the term surrender if you look at it in the military context. Let's think about this, because for a lot of people, surrender is a sign of weakness, right? And I wanna hope to reframe that with you, because I have found that surrender can actually be one of the most courageous, most expansive, most powerful things that we can do in our life. The concept of surrender is one of the most powerful and empowering things that we can do. Here's the thing. I truly believe, and this is a foundational phrase that I want you guys to take with you for the rest of your life, that attachment is the root of all suffering. Attachment is the root of all suffering. What do you think I mean by that? Why would attachment be the root of suffering? How could attachment lead to suffering? Because I got a million different ways. Because we want to look at the duality between attachment and surrender here. That's what I want to unpack with y'all today. Nola says, being more grounded in life and letting go of what doesn't work. Exactly, Nola. You're right. Letting go of what doesn't work. Because here's the thing. How many people do you know that are attached to things in their lives that aren't working? Attachment is one of the most addictive and most toxic things that we can do in our life. Attachment to what? Attachment to relationships that aren't working. Attachment to jobs that aren't working. Attachment to ideas and understandings of ourself that aren't working. And I don't think there's any greater form of toxic attachment than our attachment to our limitations. Our attachment to our beliefs about who we think we are, what we think we're capable of. Our attachment to our scarcity. Our attachment to our belief of what the kind of world we live in. We desperately cling to so much attachment. Our attachment to our money, right? We have this attachment to our money. We're afraid to give it away. We're afraid to flow free with it. We're clinging to a relationship that no longer is serving us. Saying, where does attachment come from? Fundamentally, attachment comes from fear. Attachment comes from fear. Fear that there may be something else out there. Fear that this is as good as it gets. Fear that we're not as powerful as we think we are. And when we operate from fear, when we operate from attachment, we're dictating our lives towards scarcity. We truly are. Jeannie says attachment to liking the same type of guys. Oh yeah, attachment to our patterns around men. I only like this type of guy, right? We get to look at our attachment, and the opposite of attachment is surrender. So the first thing that we get to do is to look at our lives, look at the way we operate in the world, look at the way we operate with our money, look at the way we operate in relationship, and ask ourselves, where are you practicing attachment? Where are you afraid of loss, afraid of scarcity, afraid of what's out there, so you cling to something? Where are you attached to an identity of yourself? Where are you attached to a certain concept of who you are and what's possible for you? Ask yourself that. Share it. If you have an attachment you can identify right now, I invite you to share it in the comments. Declare it, because awareness of your attachments is one of the first powerful steps to releasing them. One of the greatest forms of attachment that we practice in our lives is attachment to outcomes. Things have to go a certain way, to outcome dependence, right? Because whenever we're operating from attachment, we're operating from fear, and if we're doing outcome dependence, if we're operating from that kind of attachment, we're practicing judgment. Things have to go a certain way, and when we judge that there is a right outcome and a wrong outcome, guess what we're doing? We're shutting ourselves off from everything that's available to us, from everything there is to learn. So that's another thing that attachment does. It gives us tunnel vision. It's the opposite of openness. So attachment fundamentally doesn't serve us. We get to embrace the opposite of attachment. The opposite of attachment is surrender. Surrender is not quitting. Surrender is not stopping. Surrender is not failing to move forward. Surrender is releasing attachment. Surrender is surrendering all of our attachments and our beliefs. Surrender is letting go of whatever is not serving us. Surrender is having the courage to say, you know what? I am surrendering this relationship. I am releasing it. I am letting it go. I am not going to cling to something that no longer serves me. I'm not going to say determined to keep following a pattern that isn't in alignment with me anymore. This is what so many people don't do. So many people don't have the courage to say, you know what? I surrender my limitations. I surrender my definition of who I thought that I was, who my parents thought that I was, who society told me that I was, who my failures dictated to me that I was, that I am. When we operate from attachment, we're living in the past. We're living from our wounds. When we're operating from surrender, we are allowing ourselves to experience who we are right now. We are being open to possibility of who we could become, who we can become. We are operating from a space of free-flowingness, from expansiveness, from open-mindedness. Surrender is expansion because it's freedom. It's freedom. We get to trust, and I'm telling myself this just as much as I'm telling you. Because as I face the unknown, and this is one of the biggest times when this happens, when we're facing the unknown, when we're facing variables and things that we don't have control over, and we're looking out into all these things that are happening to us. Like I'm looking forward into launching the next phase of my business, into moving to a new city, building a new chapter of my life, meeting new people, taking things to a whole nother level. A part of me gets very scared when I think about that. A part of me feels fearful, and then it starts getting attached to the way things are, right? But if I start getting attached to the way things are, then I'm not going to be able to move forward as powerfully as I could. If I cling to the rock that I'm on, right, I'm not going to be able to leap powerfully to my next opportunity the same way. I get to practice active, conscious surrender and leap powerfully into my next step. And I invite each and every one of you to look at this in your own life. Where are you attached? What are you clinging to? And what would be possible for you if you were just to let that shit go right now? Let it go right now and just leap with faith onto your next opportunity. Surrender whatever it is that you think you need right now and recognize that all you need to create the success and the growth and expansion in your life is your understanding that you are infinite, that you cannot fail, that failure doesn't exist. Failure is an illusion that we have been conditioned into believing to stop us from moving forward, to settle, to fearfully attach to where we're at and not move forward into what's possible for us. And the only way that we can do that is to surrender. So what can we surrender? I want you to ask yourself, what can you surrender in your life? What relationship? What job? What limitation? What beliefs about who you are and what's possible for you? Olga says, I need to surrender the need to put a wall around my heart. Yeah, that's a huge one, Olga. We get to surrender our need to play it safe in love. Maybe nothing's more important than that. We get to surrender this need to put our heart in a box and keep our walls up. Because here's the thing, if we do that, we're never going to be able to foster true, deep, powerful, vulnerable, passionate love. You cannot foster that with your walls up and your guns out, as I like to say with my clients. We get to surrender that, and we get to step into the fact that sometimes in order to achieve the love, if we want to achieve that deep, meaningful, powerful love, we're going to need to risk getting hurt. And that's another aspect of surrender that's important to address here, the concept of risk. Because if you want to surrender, you get to surrender your walls, you get to surrender your comfort zone, you get to surrender the safety that comes with that. You get to risk getting hurt. You get to risk falling down. You get to risk falling on your face. And that's okay. Because there's nothing worse than avoiding risk and just settling into a Novocaine, insulated, half-lived life. A settled, compromised, sanitized existence. Nikki says, surrendering trying to control my feelings. Absolutely, Nikki. Your job as a feminine, Nikki's one of my amazing clients, right? I have so many amazing clients and students on the show right now. Hi, everybody. I love you all so much. Nikki says she's going to surrender trying to control her feelings. Exactly, Nikki, because when you control your feelings, when you're trying to control your feelings, what energy are you operating from, masculine or feminine? This is a common thing that we talk about, that I talk about with a lot of my clients. When we're operating with our walls up, when we're operating trying to control our feelings, trying to insulate ourselves, trying to manufacture some sense of safety for ourselves, we're operating from a rigid masculine place. And this is what women do a lot. And when women try to control their feelings, when women operate in this protective, walled up, I'm going to keep you at arm's length, I'm not going to allow myself to be a free-flowing, vibrant, dynamic, feminine woman in relationship, you're operating from masculinity and you're not going to polarize yourself with the man that you are in relationship with. You're not going to create that polarized energetic connection. So look at that. We get to surrender that need to protect our hearts so we can be that fearless, unapologetic, feminine flowing force that men are going to be drawn to, and that, Nikki, you've experienced what it's like when you're in that magnetic, soft, warm, inviting feminine space. You've seen how men respond to it. They're drawn to it magnetically. That's what that is. And Nola says that works with men too, and it does. When I surrendered my need to be liked and approved and accepted by women I went on dates with, when I surrendered that need and I said, you know what? I don't care if these women like me or not. Because I like me. I enjoy me. And I'm going to have fun tonight. Whether she does or not, that's up to her. Because I love myself and I'm not here to pander to anybody. As soon as I adopted that sort of energy, my dates started going a lot better. It was profound when I surrendered my need to be accepted. You see what I'm saying here? Give me a 1 if you can relate to what I'm saying. Give me a 1 if you found something in your life that you want to surrender and let go of that's no longer serving you right now. And here's a funny thing about letting go. Here's a funny thing about surrender is that it's not like you just do it once and it's over. Surrender is an ongoing process. You might have to surrender the same limiting beliefs 10 times a day for the next year and a half. I am continuing to surrender. Surrender is a daily practice. I am continuing to surrender on a daily, weekly, monthly, hourly practice, hourly rate, my limiting beliefs, my imposter syndrome, my unworthiness, my scarcity, my fear. I am letting go of that shit constantly, right? So surrender is a practice. Surrender is a lifestyle. And it is how you open yourself up to profound possibilities. And welcome everybody who's just joining us. Give me a 1. Let me know you're excited to be here. And if this is resonating with y'all, please share this show. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. That is what I'm all about. And that is what I am absolutely passionate about creating in the world. Like, that is what I'm all about. And if you're watching this on YouTube, take a second, hit that little subscribe button. I'd love to see you over on the YouTube channel, okay? Here's the thing. We all have profound talents and profound gifts. And we all have a voice, and we all have experiences, and we all have genius to share with the world. And what are you willing to let go of in order to share that? What's standing between you and owning your power in the world right now? What do you get to surrender so you can step into that? Because surrender is the first part. Surrendering what's not serving you is the first part. But in order to surrender to succeed, we're going to surrender what's not working for us. We're going to surrender what's standing between us and what it is that we want to create. And then we're going to move forward in a powerful, dynamic, and grounded way. We're going to surrender and step in. We're going to surrender and we're going to step in. Step in. We're going to go into committed, imperfect action towards what it is that we want, what it is that we're craving, what it is that we're desiring, in a powerful, magnetic, aligned way. Because that's what happens. When you surrender what's no longer working for you and you start moving forward towards what you truly want, you come into alignment. But if you don't surrender, if you don't let go of who you think you are and what you think is possible for you and what you've been told by everybody else is who you are and what you're able to create in the world, you're never going to do it. Do you see what I'm saying? Kim says, letting go of attachment to money. Absolutely. It can never be about the money. You can't make it about the money. And so you get to surrender your scarcity of money. You get to surrender all of this junk. Jeannie says, it's a constant reminder to allow yourself to practice the daily changes you want to create. Exactly, Jeannie. We get to be in a continual state of letting this go and letting this go and letting this go. Committed imperfect action, y'all. The greatest thing you can do is the 2-hit combo of committed imperfect action and surrender. You surrender first, then you go into committed imperfect action. As you go into committed perfect action, more of your limited beliefs, more of your junk is going to come up, and then you're going to get to surrender more. It's an ongoing cycle of surrendering and acting and surrendering and acting. And if you can just stay in that flow, in that paradigm of letting go of what's coming up, allowing it to flow through you, being open to possibility, being open to what's coming next, and moving forward in a committed, imperfect way, letting it be messy, and just moving forward, your life will expand. You will grow. And yes, you will be very uncomfortable a lot of the time, but guess what? Living your life as art is the spontaneous creation of beauty out of the continual mistake that is your life. For you to grow and expand and live your life as the divine expression that it was meant to be, you are going to feel like you are making a mistake a lot, because according to your ego, you are. Your ego doesn't want you to expand. Your ego doesn't want you to step into infinite possibility. Your ego wants you to stay in your box. Your ego wants you to keep your heart in a box, because in a box is where you're safe. But here's the thing. You're not safe if you're alone, you're unfulfilled, you're isolated. That isn't how we're meant to live, but so many people spend their entire lives alone, staring at a screen, because they've taken the blue pill and they've allowed their ego to tell them that it's better for them to play it safe and be alone in an antiseptic, lonely, pathetic life than to go after what's possible for them, than to face their fear, than to surrender that safety and step out into the void of limitless possibility. Just because what? They might fail? Life is too damn short. I have a dear, dear friend who is battling lethal brain cancer right now, okay? That just happened within the last 2 weeks. In the last 2 days, I have had multiple friends on Facebook who have had dear people very close to them OD and die. I'm talking in the last week and a half. I've had like 3 or 4 deaths and a couple very serious illnesses happen in my life just in the last month. Sean Stevenson died, 3 days ago? World changer. We are not guaranteed another day. So why the hell are you staying attached to things that do not serve you? Why the hell are you so committed to playing it safe? What is it going to take for you to surrender those things and step into what's possible for you? Is it going to take the death of someone close to you? I can't do it. I can't do it. And so I commit every day to letting go. I commit every day to surrendering my fear, to letting go of my fear, to letting go of my insecurities, to letting go of my worthiness conversation, to letting go of my imposter syndrome, to letting go of my who the hell am I to do this work. I let it go every day, and I let it go multiple times a day. I let it go a bunch of times before I come on this show. A lot of days. Some days, I just don't feel myself. Today is one of those days. Before I got on this show, I wasn't really feeling myself. All day I haven't really been in a good, aligned place. But I let that shit go continuously all day. And I'm so grateful to be on here with you, connecting with you and sharing that experience with you. I let it go. And I got on here anyway. And I got into committed imperfect action. This hasn't been a perfect show. And you know what? In that, it's been perfect. And that's what I'm here to share with you, is that I'm not here preaching to you from a space where I've gotten through all this stuff and it doesn't impact my life. I'm working through this stuff every day in my life. And I'm here to tell you that the only reason my life has unfolded in the serendipitous, magical, expansive way that it has is because I have practiced deliberate, conscious surrender day after day after day after day after day for about the last, 7 years. And is it going to be scary? Absolutely. Is it going to be uncomfortable? For sure. But if you can do this, if you can continue to let go, you will see that on the other side of your attachment is possibility, is joy, is freedom, is so much beauty that you can't even see from the other side, that you can't even see when you're in that fearful attached space. So give me a 1. Give me a 1 if you're ready to surrender to succeed. If you're ready to identify and let go of whatever things in your life you are attached to out of fear, out of scarcity, out of not enoughness. And just let it go. Just let it go and allow yourself to allow it to flow through you. And see what's out there and see what's on the other side of that. Because there's something greater for you. No matter where you are, no matter what's happened to you in the past. There's something greater for you in your present, and there's something greater for you in your future. And the only person standing between you and all of that beauty is your fear. And you can let it go right now. Are you with me? I hope so. And I hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, please share this with your tribe. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, take a second, hit that little subscribe button. And thank you so much for being a part of Mondays with Matt. I love you dearly, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.